All right, so yeah, the number we're looking at right now is how much I've lost over the last 60 days trading ES futures. So yeah, I've been having a rough couple weeks. Ever since I was one trade away from passing my evaluation, it's just kind of got in my head and it caused me to force a lot of trades, which ended up being losses. And then I got back to being $900 away from passing my evaluation, which caused me to once again force trades and lose. So then after that happened, the market conditions completely changed. We had like that huge sell-off over the weekend, and basically it just created a very volatile market. Volatility that I have not seen before trading futures in my future trading journey. So that pretty much kind of it made it really hard for me to be confident in my setup. So yeah, I knew to size down and stuff, but I basically just wasn't confident in any of my entries really. And as you can see, this is the month of August. We only have one winning day. Last month was all right, but the month of August we only have one winning day, which is crazy because it's already the 19th, right? Yeah, which is crazy because it's already the 19th. So let me just throw this date range on real quick so you guys can see my stats for the last 60 days. All right, so check my stats out for the last 60 days. Awful win rate. We have a 25% win rate. We're literally break even in the last 2 months. So 14,837 profit. So we're only up $400. If you add up our losses and our winners, we're only up 400 since the beginning of July. Clearly an indication that there is a problem with my trading. So today I added up all of my losses from the last 60 days, reviewed all my losses from the last 60 days, and they all came down to three main problems. So my past issues, one of them has been taking trades in areas where I know I shouldn't. So I fixed that, I believe. Like, I really only trade where my plan says I'm supposed to trade, and I only trade with my plan, which is great. But I have a lot of entries that are premature, and I have a lot of entries that there was no valid confirmation, even though I was at a key level, or even though I was trading a scenario that was aligned with my plan. I sometimes wasn't taking the best trades, like with the most confirmation. So not all my trades are like this. Sometimes I see confirmation clearly, and sometimes I'm unsure, but since I'm at a level and since my plan is playing out, I'll just take the trade because I find that most of the time my plan will actually play out correctly. So it's worth it to just put the trade on. But there are definitely a lot of losses that were premature entries and a lot of trades that I kind of just forced and there was no good confirmation. And there's also just some overall bad trades. Like, I would say most of my trades that I lost, the biggest losses, I'll just show you guys. If you guys are new to this channel, these 2 days that are red, my only 2 red days of July, it was because I was one win away from passing my evaluation. So we'll just say I was attached to an outcome and it caused me to force trades. So there's $1,800 out of plan, and then here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are literally 6 forced trades in a row. So just avoiding these 2 out of plan forced trade days, like, would have put me, instead of being down 14,000, I would have been down like around 9,000. So that alone is awful. And then the rest are just kind of like normal losses. This one, let's see what happened this day. So yeah, I remember the conditions were, the market was moving real fast this day and I got stopped out like extremely fast on these 2. And then I believe I had 1 break even on this one or something. So yeah, I sized down and I started trading less contracts, but whatever. So like the last month's losses have been completely normal, I would say, other than there's definitely some bad entries, no doubt about that. Premature entry here, forcing the trade here, no confirmation. This one was all right. This one I entered right after my stop, which used to be my biggest problem, but it's really not anymore. My biggest problem nowadays is premature entries, AKA entering without confirmation. And honestly, I would probably just say that's my biggest problem. I mean, a lot of my Most of my losses come from me forcing trades and literally taking trades out of my plan in the last 60 days. But my biggest problem, I would say, is the premature entries and entering without confirmation. So I have a lot of good trades that do have confirmation that I like can see trap buyers, see absorption, or I'll see CVD divergences, sometimes multiple. But if I don't have like a crystal clear read on the market, so if I'm at my key level and my plan appears to be playing out, I'll just take it a lot of the times. And as you can see here, I mean, I have so many losses. The last, like, I have winners, but like, look how much money I could have saved by just like, honestly, we had 2 awful days the last month that kind of like set us back about 5,000. But there's a lot of money I could save if I was a lot more strict with my entry confirmation, is what I'm saying. So my next steps moving forward are basically going to be, I want to have well-defined entry confirmation criteria instead of just kind of going off what I see if I'm unsure, or maybe even just trying to be patient when I'm not completely sure on those entries. All right, so if I didn't force any trades, I could have saved an easy 1,800 right here. So I'm just gonna do this, minus 1,800. And then we'll do, let me add these up. This is the worst day, 1,200, we'll call that. That day was 3,300 alone in losses. So if I would have just not forced any trades that weren't my plan, I already would have been up an extra about $5,000. And that's only from 2 days. If I added up all of my premature entries, I'm sure I could have saved at least, I'll just call it an easy, let's say I lose 600 a trade. Let's say I've taken, we'll just call it another 3,000. All right, so if I would have eliminated premature entries and taken trades that were not with my plan, completely out of my plan, I would have literally saved about $8,000, which would have probably got me funded and also probably would have got me a payout. If you guys don't keep track of your losses and you don't add them up and divide them up by what the cause of the loss was, I think that you're doing yourself a disservice and you're not going to be as aware as you would be without doing that. Like, for example, seeing that I could have saved $8,000 in the last 60 days just by not doing dumbass trades and not being more specific with my entry confirmation and patient with my entries, I probably could have saved $8,000, and it makes me sick that something that I let happen the last 60 days. I mean, we're still up on our valuation, and being break even is better than losing money. So that's good. But whenever you combine that with all the dumb mistakes that I made, it's just like I could be in such a better spot than I am right now. And it's like, it's one thing to say that I've made all those mistakes and I need to take those and learn from them and move forward. But like, it's frustrating that I've made that much dollars worth of mistakes the last 60 days. But it also gives me a good feeling too, because I know that if I would just cut out the dumb shit that I do, I would be doing very well. I would be, I'm in a good place. Like, you can see clearly that the way I trade, I can fully make it work and I can fully be profitable. I could fully be profitable if I just cut out the dumb shit and the errors that I know I should have made, which like 4,000, 5,000 alone in trades that are completely outside of my plan. That's great. Like if I was to eliminate those completely and then on top of that, eliminate premature entries, like I would have great stats right now. I would probably have like at least a 50% win rate, and all my other stats will be the same, obviously. But it just shows you that the only reason you lose trades when you actually follow a plan and have a strategy is because of your own human error, because of you not being patient enough to wait for confirmation to enter, because of you just being like dumb and entering shit because you want to make money, taking trades outside of your plan, outside of your strategy. So I hope that gives you guys some faith. I hope you guys take the advice to add up your losses and categorize them into your problems, because doing that really helps me progress and correct myself. And on top of that, it actually makes me feel good to know that if I just cut out the easiest things to fix, then I'll be good. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.